Ever wonder what's holding people back from starting their own businesses? I recently asked this question in a survey, and the top answer was pretty revealing. Honestly, not having good ideas and fear of wasting time and money on a bad idea. Sounds familiar, right? This one comment perfectly captures the mental roadblocks that keep so many would-be entrepreneurs stuck in their day jobs, dreaming but never doing. Let's talk about these myths that are probably holding you back too. And trust me, they are just myths, not reality. Myth number one, I need a brilliant idea to start a business. Here's the truth that nobody tells you. You don't need a good idea to start a business. You just need any idea to get started. Think about it this way. For most people, your first three businesses are probably going to fail anyway. And that's actually a good thing. Those failures are really just your business education playing out in real time. It's exactly like learning to ride a bike. You could read every book ever written about bike riding. You could watch Olympic cyclists all day long, but until you actually get on the bike, push those pedals, wobble around, and fall a few times, you're never going to learn how to ride. Business works exactly the same way. You learn by doing, by trying, by falling, and by getting back up again. The problem is we set this impossibly high bar for our business ideas. We think they need to be revolutionary, perfect, and guaranteed to succeed. But what if instead of trying to come up with one perfect business idea, you tried to brainstorm 50 ideas in the next hour? They can be terrible ideas. Who cares? The point is to lower the bar so low that you can actually step over it and get started. Remember, Facebook started as just a college directory for Harvard students. Slack was an internal communication tool for a failing game company. Twitter came from a podcasting company that was going nowhere. None of these were brilliant ideas when they started. They evolved over time. Myth number two, time spent on a failed business is wasted time. This myth is particularly damaging because it completely misunderstands how learning works. Thinking that time spent on a business that doesn't succeed is wasted is like saying those first few times you fell off your bike were a waste of time. Well, I fell 3 times trying to ride a bike. What a waste. I'll never try that again. Does that make any sense? Of course not. Those falls were an essential part of the learning process. School trains us to expect certainty. Study this material, get this grade, get these grades, get into this college, complete this degree, get this job. We're conditioned to only do things with guaranteed outcomes. But real life, especially entrepreneurship, doesn't work that way. There are no guarantees, and that's terrifying for most people. Here's what a failed business actually teaches you: what customers really want versus what they say they want, how to market and sell something, incredibly valuable skills, how to manage your time and resources, how to deal with uncertainty and stress, how to adapt when things don't go as planned. I can tell you that my first 6 business attempts completely flopped. But without those failures, I never would have built the skills needed to create a successful 7-figure business later. Those weren't failures. They were my real-world MBA. Myth number 3, I need money to start a business. Whenever people think about starting a business, they immediately jump to needing investors, startup capital, and savings to live on. We've watched too many episodes of Shark Tank. Here's what TV doesn't show you. Most first businesses should be service businesses, not product businesses. And service businesses require almost no startup capital. Think about what a 14-year-old might do to earn money in summer. They don't think, I need $50,000 in seed funding. They think, I could mow lawns in the neighborhood, or I could walk dogs, or I could tutor younger kids. Those are all service businesses that cost essentially nothing to start, just your time and existing skills. As an adult, you have far more valuable skills to offer. Freelance writing, editing, or proofreading, web design or development, bookkeeping for small businesses, social media management, virtual assistant services, consulting in your area of expertise, photography or videography, tutoring or coaching, home services, cleaning, organizing, repairs. None of these require significant startup costs. You probably already have the tools and skills you need. The barrier isn't money, it's psychological. Microsoft started as a programming service. Amazon began as essentially a book procurement service. IBM started as a business consulting service. They all evolved into product companies later after they had cash flow and experience. Myth number 4. I need to quit my job and go all in. This is probably the most dangerous myth because it creates an unnecessary all or nothing scenario that scares people away from entrepreneurship. If I had 2 years of expenses saved, I would start right now, I hear people say. But this is just fear disguised as financial prudence. The truth is, most successful businesses start as side hustles. You don't need to work 40 to 60 hours a week on your first business. You need maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day. Wake up a little earlier, use part of your lunch break, dedicate Saturday mornings while everyone else is still sleeping. Remember, the point of your first business isn't to replace your income immediately, it's to learn how business works. And you can learn that in small, consistent chunks of time while keeping the security of your regular paycheck. Think about these well-known businesses that started as side projects. Shopify began as an online snowboard store. Spanx was created while Sarah Blakely was still selling fax machines. Craigslist was a simple email newsletter Craig Newmark sent while working at IBM. GitHub was a weekend project for developers with day jobs. Starting small on the side is not only less risky financially, it's also less psychologically overwhelming. You can experiment, learn, and grow without the pressure of needing to pay your bills from day one. Myth number 5. My first business should give me everything I want. This is the perfectionism trap that keeps so many would-be entrepreneurs stuck in endless planning. People expect their very first business to simultaneously make them financially free, be something they're passionate about, provide total time flexibility, allow location independence, let them work with amazing people, make a meaningful difference in the world. That's like refusing to go on a first date unless you're certain that person will be your soulmate, business partner, and best friend all in one. It's an impossible standard. The reality is much more incremental. Your first business teaches you the basics and maybe makes a little money. Your second business improves your skills and might generate decent income. Your third business starts to give you more freedom from trading time for money. And maybe by your fourth or fifth business, you're building something that checks most of your boxes. Most of the entrepreneurs you admire didn't hit it big with their first idea. They built a series of progressively better businesses, carrying forward what they learned each time. My first business was freelance web design as a teenager. Then I tried a questionable multi-level marketing thing, then private tutoring, then several other ventures that nobody remembers because they didn't work out. Eventually, I built something sustainable that became successful, but it was built on the foundation of all those earlier attempts. If you're waiting for the perfect business idea that gives you everything you want from day one, you'll be waiting forever. Lowering the bar to get started. If you've been thinking about starting a business but haven't taken action yet, your bar is probably too high. You're overthinking it. You're waiting for perfect conditions that will never arrive. Try this mental trick. Assume your first 3 businesses will fail, but teach you valuable lessons. Just like knowing your first 50 videos on YouTube will probably be terrible, but that's how you learn to make good videos. Ideas aren't the limiting factor in entrepreneurship. Execution is. And you can't learn execution without, well, executing. It's like saying you want to be a great chef but never actually cooking anything. The people who succeed in business aren't necessarily smarter or more talented than everyone else. They're simply the ones who were willing to start before they felt ready to learn by doing and to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. The real secret: getting comfortable with uncertainty. At its core, entrepreneurship requires developing comfort with uncertainty. We're hardwired to crave certainty and security. It's a survival instinct. But the most rewarding experiences in life usually involve stepping into the unknown. Think about it. Relationships involve uncertainty. Travel involves uncertainty. Learning any new skill involves uncertainty. The richness in life comes from navigating that uncertainty, not avoiding it. Each time you push through discomfort and take action despite uncertainty, you build a muscle that most people never develop. Over time, this creates a massive advantage because you'll take action where others hesitate. This doesn't mean being reckless or ignoring real risks. It means developing the ability to distinguish between actual dangers and merely uncomfortable growth opportunities. Just start small, like really small. If you're convinced to begin despite your fears, here's what I recommend. Spend 20 minutes brainstorming what skills you already have that might be valuable to others. Look around and notice what problems or frustrations people in your circle regularly mention. Have casual conversations with 5 to 10 people who experience these problems. Don't pitch, just listen and learn. Define the absolute simplest service you could offer that addresses one aspect of this problem. Find 1 to 3 potential clients in your existing network and make a straightforward offer to help them. Deliver your service with exceptional care, documenting everything you learn. Reflect on what worked and what didn't, then adjust your approach. Gradually expand to a few more clients, incorporating what you've learned. This step-by-step approach creates real-world learning while minimizing risk. It forces you to engage with actual customers early rather than building something nobody wants. Most importantly, it transforms the intimidating concept of starting a business into a series of small, manageable actions that anyone can take, regardless of their current circumstances. The greatest irony in entrepreneurship is that those who start small, with modest expectations and a willingness to learn through imperfect attempts, often achieve far greater success than those who remain stuck in endless planning, waiting for perfect conditions. Remember, you don't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You learn by getting in the water. So whatever business idea you've been considering, even if it seems too simple or too small, that's exactly where you should start. The water's fine, just jump in. And once you're in, you'll realize something incredible. You won't drown. You might splash around awkwardly at first, you might swallow some water, but you'll stay afloat. And with each stroke, with each small victory, you'll gain confidence. That's exactly what happened to me. My first attempts at business were messy. I remember staying up late trying to figure out how to send an invoice properly. I remember the anxiety of having my first client call. I remember undercharging dramatically because I was afraid to ask for more. These experiences weren't glamorous, but they were necessary. What surprised me most wasn't the challenges, it was discovering strengths I never knew I had. I found I could solve problems creatively when pushed into a corner. I discovered I could have difficult conversations when necessary. I realized I could bounce back from rejection with surprising resilience. These discoveries don't happen when you're sitting on the sidelines, watching others swim. They only reveal themselves when you're in the water, figuring it out stroke by stroke. The beauty of starting small is that the stakes are low, but the learning is high. No one expects perfection from a beginner. Use that to your advantage. Ask questions others might be embarrassed to ask. Make mistakes while they're still inexpensive. Experiment freely before you have a reputation to protect. 6 months from now, you could still be contemplating the perfect business idea, researching endlessly, and planning for conditions that will never quite arrive. Or you could have 6 months of real experience under your belt, messy, imperfect, but invaluable experience that no course or book can provide. 1 year from now, you could have cycled through several small business experiments, each one teaching you something crucial about what works and what doesn't. You'll have developed an intuition for business that the perpetual planners will never acquire. 5 years from now, while others are still saying someday, you might be running a thriving business that evolved in ways you never could have predicted when you first started. Not because you had the perfect idea or the perfect plan, but because you had the courage to begin and the persistence to keep going. So here's my challenge to you. Commit to taking one small action today. Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready, today. Send that email, make that call, create that simple website, offer your help to someone who needs your skills. The path to entrepreneurship isn't a dramatic leap off a cliff. It's a series of small steps taken consistently, one after another. Each step builds your confidence. Each step teaches you something new. Each step moves you forward. Remember, every successful entrepreneur you admire once stood exactly where you stand now, at the beginning, uncertain, but willing to take that first small step. The only question that matters now is, what small step will you take today? Your 7-day business launch challenge. The difference between dreamers and entrepreneurs isn't talent or resources, it's action. So here's your challenge to cross that line in just 1 week. Day 1. Idea generation. Spend 20 minutes writing down every business idea that comes to mind. Aim for quantity, not quality. Write down at least 20 ideas, no matter how simple or obvious they seem. Circle the 3 that feel most doable right now with your current skills and resources. Day 2. Problem validation. For each of your 3 ideas, write down who exactly would benefit from this service chalk product. What specific problem does it solve for them? How are they currently solving this problem? Then text or call 2 people who fit your target customer profile. Don't pitch them. Just ask about their challenges related to your problem area. Day 3. Offer creation. Create the simplest possible version of your offering. If it's a service, define exactly what you'll do, how long it will take, and what result the client can expect. If it's a simple product, outline how you'll create or source it. Remember, your first offer doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Day 4. Price setting. Decide on your price. If you're feeling uncertain, remember this formula. Take what you think is a fair price, then double it. Most beginners dramatically undercharge. Write down your price and practice saying it out loud without apologizing or qualifying it. Day 5. First outreach. Make a list of 10 people who might need your offering or know someone who does. Reach out to 5 of them with a simple message explaining what you're offering and asking if they, or someone they know, might be interested. The goal isn't necessarily to get clients yet, it's to get comfortable putting yourself out there. Day 6. Create your simple system. Set up the basic infrastructure for your business. This might be as simple as creating a dedicated email address, setting up a payment method, PayPal, Venmo, etc. Creating a simple template for proposals or agreements, making a basic tracking system for clients' stock orders. Day 7. Make your first offer. This is the big day. Reach out directly to at least 3 potential clients with a specific, clear offer of your service or product. Be direct. I'm offering X for Y price. Would this be helpful for you? If the answer is no, ask for feedback. If it's yes, congratulations. You've just started your business. The real challenge. No excuses. The rules are simple. No skipping days, no perfectionism allowed. When fear or doubt appears, and it will, acknowledge it, then take action anyway. Complete each day's task in 30 minutes or less. Share your progress with at least one person daily for accountability. At the end of 7 days, you won't have a perfect business, but you will have a started business. And that puts you ahead of 99% of people who are still just thinking about it. 1 year from now, you'll wish you had started today. So don't wait. Don't overthink it. Don't let perfect be the enemy of started. Your 7-day challenge begins now. What's your first move?
Thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, the best way to support the podcast is to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Every bit of support helps us keep creating content that actually matters. See you in the next one.